Happy Friday to you, friends. I hope that you are having a stellar kind of day. The soundtrack this morning is Chris rehearsing for a show tonight, so I hope you like heavy metal because that's what we're going to be listening to this morning. I realized my son was here this weekend, and he programmed Pandora onto my smartphone because I'm not very smart with my smartphone. And he programmed Cinderella radio in there, and I thought, you know, that's just perfect. I mean, everybody knows that I was kind of a rock girl, you know, at heart. And I thought it was funny that my son was picking up on that, and that Chris is, you know, I mean, all week I've been listening to Dawkins and you know, White Snake and all this stuff, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I am a little rock girl at heart. I sure did start out that way. I wanted to say a quick thank you to Miss Donna because she sent Captain Jack a piratology book, and he really loves it. Thank you for remembering Captain Jack in that little bit of happy mail that you sent me. It was full of all kinds of wonderful things. I love this because it's a compass rose, you know, and it's a really working compass rose, and I love the little ruby inlays that are on the east and west. And so I just wanted to say thank you to Donna real quick for sending along something to Jack because, you know, he loves to have treats as well. But we're going to slide this out of the way. Do you love it, Captain Jack?
Friend, carefully.
I'll be careful with it, I promise, okay? I'm being really careful. Okay, let's put you back on your perch.
Looks like rough seas ahead, mate.
I don't think we're having rough seas, Jack. We're just having a dreary day outside. It's not rough seas at all. Funny when you interact with your plastic characters on your desk, but hey, that's all right. It's all about the butterfly, y'all. I'm kind of got spring fever because my first daffodils are blooming. I picked my first bouquet to bring into the house, and always my first daffodil bouquet goes to Chris's grandma was named Ba, and we have her vintage piano in our house. So it's an upright piano. So the first daffodil bouquet always goes in a vase on top of her piano. So I know that she is enjoying the spring as well. Even though she is no longer with us, I'm sure that she enjoys it too. So spring is definitely springing. My Lenten rose is up, and it is blooming. And I just think those blooms are so pretty. They're very delicate. You know, they almost look... They always look surreal when they're out there and they're blooming so beautifully, but I am just having, you know, a real longing for spring and all things pretty. I'm very ready for it. Let's go through these journals. This one is crazy sparkly. I am loving it. It is just bright and beautiful and cheerful. I finished this off with a really simple purple closure here. The spine is all done in cut glass, and someone sent along these really sweet beads. I don't know exactly what those things are, but they're really, really neat. They're kind of swirly and everything. And my friend Eleanor sent along some plastic stars, but they fit so well here. You know, I don't really like to use plastic beads, but they look so pretty on this journal. I just couldn't help it. But anyway, let's get into this journal and see what she is all about. Like I said, she is really sparkly, really pretty. She's very pink, but I just think she's so cheerful, and I think we all need a little bit of cheer after the winter. Of course, we're still with our story theme, and I've heard from several of you that love the story theme, so I think we'll just kind of stick with that for a while. This is your storybook. Of course, you can, I am very fond of rewriting my life story. I think that there are always you know, incidences in your life that you maybe didn't like, or you maybe wish you could recreate. Well, you can. You're always at liberty to write yourself a new story and start living a different way, no matter what's happening in your life. That creative imagination that it takes to complete your story in your little storybook, that kind of thing is super beneficial to the things that show up in your life. It's a lot of fun to just rewrite your story. So we are going to kind of keep with our story theme for just a bit. I've got some beautiful papers in here for you, some fabric papers, and of course butterflies. Beautiful pinkish kind of theme going on. This is a little story about an indigo bunting bird. I usually have birds' nests in my bushes outside. I do not know why they build in the bushes. I mean, I do have like tall, I don't know what that stuff is called, japonica, that's what it is, tall japonica bushes, and they really kind of nest in those bushes, which is great for me because I can take a stool outside and actually like look into the nest, which is one of my favorite things to do. Something fun for you to color. I like a little bit of whimsy in these books, and I've been processing magazines. This is a little tea set for children from one of the magazines that I processed, and I just thought it was really, really, really cool. I can't think about tea and tea sets without thinking about Buzz Lightyear, you know, and how he got discouraged when he found out he was not a real person, and went to have tea with Mrs. Nesbit. Do you remember that? It was just very funny in A Toy Story, which is one of my favorite movies. Of course, if we're thinking about whimsy, then we're thinking about things like games, and I also love numbers. This is also a great opportunity to use these already pre-made lines here to maybe make a list of the 12 things that you would like to do this spring. Got a little Yahtzee scorecard for you. There is a napkin in here that is coffee themed, and we'll see why in just a minute. And you know, got to have some seahorses and whales because we're really thinking about spring and summer. And crabs are on the back. This is a magazine page. I love this little coffee thing. Donna sent this along as well. It says, work and pray. Work as if everything depended on you, and pray as if everything depended on God. I think that hard work and prayer are good things, and no matter what you, I mean, pray can mean a whole lot of things, right? You know, pray, meditate, whatever hits your fancy there. Another little inspirational text right here. And then these little things are coffee themed. The measure of life. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons, and that's by T.S. Eliot. So we've got in another pocket for you. I love this little envelope because it's got butterflies on it as well, and I just turned the whole envelope into a pocket. So you've got some papers and some border strips up here to play with. This is a sweet little quote right here. If you, hold on, I don't have my glasses. If you want to know how much I love you, count all the waves in the sea. Oh, I love that. I used to tell my little boy that I loved you. Wide as the ocean and deep as the sea. Oh, sorry. I bumped my camera. And we've got a little more. This is the indigo bunting that we were talking about a while ago. Isn't that a sweet little bird? Pretty color blue. This is a little sparkly piece that says capture a moment. A little bit of journaling, a journaling prompt for you. I would love to learn how to. Spring is a great time for launching new things, right? So what would you like to learn how to do? You know what I would love to know how to do is swim. I do not know how to swim, and I always think that that would be I know that people take that for granted, you know, that everybody knows how to swim, but I don't know how to swim. I was never taught to swim. My mom had a terrible fear of water, and my brother, thank goodness, and my sister do swim, but I do not swim. I sure do wish that I could like snap my fingers and learn how to swim. I think that would be cool. We got some beautiful little cut out birds for you to play with. This star is made from some paper towels, some crushed paper towels, fused paper towels, I think Jennibellie called them. It's a Jennibellie craft. This is a little insert about fashion. I kind of was crazy about this J. Peterman page. It says things that flutter, and since we have a butterfly theme kind of going on with the outside of this book, I thought that this would be appropriate. It says butterflies, the heart, sleeves. This is not bad company considering your charming and whimsical intentions, but just because you're tickling fancies in this blouse doesn't mean it's not sophisticated. And I thought that was super cool. And then you've got a little bit about, this is glamour, and it's about men's trousers from the 1940s that were adapted to fit women's bodies. So I really did love that little page from J. Peterman. I love anything from J. Peterman. I loved J. Peterman when he was on Seinfeld. I thought he was one of the most interesting characters, and the way that he and Elaine interacted was always hilarious to me. Sorry, y'all, I gotta grab my chair here. More pages and papers for you to play with. This is a story about a designer named Craig Robinson, and it had photos of him sketching and cutting, a lot of sewing photos right here that you can cut apart and play with. Some pattern paper instructions, and I like the juxtaposition. You can tell this is an older pattern because it's got a yellow tint to it, and this is a newer pattern instructions because it's kind of white. Kind of white, not very white. I love this page because it's very steampunk, and there's a vintage sewing machine here for you. More papers. And of course, a big batch of pattern paper. I love pattern paper. I think it's so much fun to play with because really it's kind of like tissue paper. You can do all kinds of things with it. More of the Craig Robinson, and this is Craig Robinson's vintage sewing machine. He's got a Singer sewing machine. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. I've got a pocket of, it's braiding as well as some sequins here. It's got a little safety pin here. So it's just a pocket of fun things for you to, I mean, maybe you want to design your own clothes. So, maybe this will give you some ideas about design and how it should look and how your clothing should look. Just a couple pieces for you to play with here. We got some sparkle right there. I am in love with circles. I've always been in love with circles. To me, circles are very calming. So there's some circle paper in here. Some of the outside cover as a fabric page right here. A vintage Christmas card that says it's Christmas in Connecticut. I love this red color. I thought it went really well with kind of the pink colors that we have going on. It says it's Christmas in Hartford. Hartford, Connecticut. Some Chinese text for you. And I've got some, this is a French dictionary, which I think is just really super, super cool. This is the Confessions of St. Augustine. I love that. This is all in Latin, but it has an English translation. A little bit of Hardy Boys for you from 1955. This is from the book While the Clock Ticked. I like this chapter is called The Last Warning. Love that. A little bit Alice in Wonderland for you. This is when the pigeon thinks that Alice is a serpent. So there's a sweet little Peter Newell illustration right here. That is a lot of fun. A little bit of Shakespeare for you. The Two Gentlemen of Verona. These pages are about Charles Dickens. This is taken from a Reader's Digest condensed book, A Tale of Two Cities, and I just thought it was so beautiful. And I know that you guys like writing ephemera and things like that, so I thought that this would be a fun thing to include in your book. A bit of border that is all flowers. I love the magenta flower. I think it's super pretty. Today's favorite playlist, and that can mean all kinds of things. You know, are you listening to books today? Are you listening to music today? What is going on that you would love to? Maybe you want to make a new playlist and listen to some new music or new things or do new things. A playlist can mean a whole lot of things. It's not necessarily have to mean something that you're listening to, right? It could be maybe you're going to change the playlist in your head and listen to something uplifting and positive, like some Abraham or Wayne Dyer or Deepak Chopra or Shakti Gawain or someone like that. Somebody very uplifting. This is a little more paper for you to play with, a little skinny book. There's a skinny book back here. This is a smattering of different kinds of scrapbook paper. So, and you've got a brad that says S, so make of that what you will. And I put you some ATCs in here so you can play with those as well. A couple of bookmarks that are those cereal box bookmarks that we like so much, that we play with all the time. A pocket of posies for you to play with. You can create all kinds of posies out of that. This is about the Coronado Hotel in San Diego. And this is an old print from the Coronado Hotel. You can see the hotel in the back. Is that not just completely mesmerizing? These are old black and white photos from the Del Coronado, and I love this page because there is Charles Lindbergh in the Spirit of St. Louis, and this is hold on a second, this is the Wallace Spencer. There's Wallace, and there's the Prince of Wales, and we all knew that incredible story of love that they hung out at the Coronado Hotel, the Del Coronado. So I thought that was super interesting right here. Let me see if I can get this placed back in here correctly. Sometimes it's tricky to get it back in here, but I really do want you to see the, you know, the richness of the story that goes on, you know, in these journals. A journal is a journey, right? I mean, journal is based on the word journey. So it should be fun. It should be something it should take you on a journey. That's exactly what it should do. A couple of little girls for you to play with right here. I love them because they looked period appropriate to this article about a hospital. And this is called Dr. Hutchings Hospital. It's in Madison, Indiana. In 1882, Dr. William Hutchings set up the first hospital in the Ohio Valley. It occupied a two-story building and was for almost 20 years the only hospital in the area. Here, Dr. Hutchings treated patients until his death in 1903. After his funeral, his family packed and labeled his instruments, supplies, and books and closed the building. It then stood untouched for 66 years, and now it's like reopened as a museum. And I just thought that was super cool. I like abandoned places. I like the work of Seth Apter. He is a photographer, and he goes in and photographs abandoned malls and abandoned homes, and I don't know what it is about that attracts me so much. I think that abandoned places are just really remarkable snapshots of history, aren't they? This is from the Successful Living Begins at Home, the Red Cross Nursing Manual from 1942. I thought it went really, this page works really nicely with Dr. Hutchins' the story about Dr. Hutchins Hospital because it does talk about teeth and the development of teeth and the nose and the throat. And we know that probably Dr. Hutchins was doing a whole lot of that work during his doctoring time on this earth. The easy handy kitchen tips is Easter secrets, because Easter is April the 1st, and that is so fast. I mean, it is coming quick on this year. This is from a book called, oh gosh, I hope I can find it. It is called Outer Lines. Oh gosh, I can't remember. It's from 1960. It is Audell's. It's Audell's DIY book. And it has 2 kitchens here that I really do love. I just thought the kitchens were wonderful. This is a kitchen left in a 1923 home. The homemaker was shut off from her family. Now, this is a modern kitchen where we don't have walls in the kitchen. But this is probably a 1960s-ish kitchen. But I thought that those were so cool. I love old places, old kitchens, and things like that. This is a picture of a modern stove. Look at that coffee pot. So neat. We've got a little bit of Depression era story in here. This is the eggless, milkless, butterless cake that I have just been fascinated with forever. Washing machine and hanging pot. Look how pretty the eggs look, y'all. I'm going to dye eggs this year. I haven't dyed eggs since my kids were babies, and I think I would really like to do that. I would like to recapture that little part of my childhood. I've got a really sparkly butterfly right here for you. Looky, 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 looky. A library card. Oh, I love it. And this is a sticky back little thing that you can make what you want to out of. Thought it was super cool. We've got a skinny book, and oh my goodness, Miss Donna sent us some Tim Holtz umbrella guys. So I've got that in there for you. This is a package of ATCs and little things for you to create with. And we are at the back of this book. There's a bird. There's a key collection envelope right here. So we've got some funky, cool ephemera in this book. This, of course, is the Nielsen ephemera dating from 1947. I adore the purple stamp, and to me, it's very hard for me to believe that these things have not faded after 71 years. They're still very vibrant, still very beautiful. It makes me wonder how they were printed. You know, how does that not fade after so many years? I've just got a smattering of papers in here for you from old texts. We've got a 1945 Inspector Poirot. We've got some sheets from The Incredible Journey that have the gold on the edging. I know you can't really see that. I keep hoping that you can. It's very beautiful right there. And the last little pocket has a beautiful dress form in it. Look at that. Thank you, Donna, for sending those along. So there we go. Now I should have, gosh, what are we going to call her? Let's call her Pretty in Pink. That was a Molly Ringwald movie, I think, from the 80s. But she is pretty in pink, isn't she? All right, guys, we've got another butterfly journal for you. This one is just features a smattering of all kinds of butterflies, and the spine is pretty much kind of like the other one, just lots of sparkle, lots of shine, lots of beautiful, beautiful beads that just say happy. I love a good bead strand. It just makes me happy. Let's crack this one open and see what's inside. We've got a collection of moths, and of course we've got our storybook going along here. Got some musical scrapbook paper. I think that's really, really pretty. And something for you to color. A bit of whimsy, you know, the tea party thing going on here. I think this was from, I wish I could remember the name of the magazine. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the magazine. But I just thought it was so happy and so cheerful. And this is a story about the American goldfinch. So, you know, are you going to have a tea party in your garden? If you have a tea party in your garden, are you going to see some beautiful statuary? I love this kind of stuff. We have a beautiful cemetery here called the Hollywood Cemetery that is just chock full of excellent statuary. It's so much fun to, I know this sounds really weird, it's fun to go there because it's right along the James River. It's very peaceful. Sometimes I will go out there and just take a sandwich, and the mausoleum is incredible, and you can sit out there and just kind of have your lunch and look at the river and look at the beauty and be very, very peaceful. Okay, I know that sounded odd. More of our coffee pages. True happiness consists not in the multitude of friends, but in their worth and choice. So maybe you want to go have coffee in your garden with your statuary. And a lot of these, I like these because, you know, we talked about it gives you nice blocks to write in. You know, maybe do some listing, that kind of thing. Maybe list some positive aspects. That would be a great place to do it. A Yahtzee scorecard. This is a bridge scorecard, and this is from Williamsburg. Williamsburg is about 50 miles from here. I live at the Capitol Trail, so I can literally walk from my house down a hill and be on the Capitol Trail. So I could walk to Williamsburg if I chose. I do not choose to walk to Williamsburg. A score tally that says we and they. I kind of love that too. More papers. Look at her. Isn't she just beautiful? I really did love processing those magazines, y'all. It gave me a lot of fun ideas and a lot of imagery to put in these books for you. This is some, it's scrapbook paper, but it's that kind of heavy, thick scrapbook paper, and these are all swirls for you to play with. Let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and that's from Psalms. It's very pretty. A butterfly for you. A little book plate for you that features, I love this because this is so messy, and I like a messy paint palette. A messy paint palette is a whole lot more fun than a neat paint palette, y'all. A pack of posies for you, and some fabric pages. Again, some pattern paper how-to. You know, I like the colors of the paper here. You can do all kinds of things, of course, with that paper and with pattern paper. This was, I like this, J. Peterman. New York subway strike of the late 70s. Bank presidents start wearing sneakers to work. JFK goes hatless at his inauguration. Goodbye, hats. Steve McQueen, Sean Connery, Bill Holden discard ties in favor of turtlenecks. Ugh, nothing like Steve McQueen in a turtleneck, y'all. Woo! Do you remember the movie Bullet? I remember going to see the movie Bullet with that car scene in San Francisco where the car is like going up and down hills. I wanted to be on the front row because I really love Steve McQueen. I was very, very young, and I got very, very sick watching that movie. This is a little packet of stuff for you to play with, and it also comes with a little prompt about books you want to read. I am an avid reader. Right now I'm reading A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, but I also saw, I was a big fan of Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, and I saw that they're making that into a movie, so I thought that was very interesting. I really do like dystopian novels as well. I just read Clockwork Dynasty. I highly recommend that. The Mandibles was also an excellent book, an excellent dystopian novel. Dystopian meaning the end of the world, you know, the end of, the end of civilization as we know it. I just think that that is a super fascinating concept. The Sunlight Pilgrims was okay. It did not have a very good ending. As a matter of fact, it was one of those books you got to the end of and you went, what? What happened here? Is there a sequel? Shouldn't this go on? This is some coffee napkin for you to play with. It's really sweet imagery there. And a picture from a fashion magazine. I thought y'all would enjoy that. This is a lovely embossed piece. A lady with a a beautiful hat, and she's writing. She's sitting on a chair writing. You can color that or paint it or do whatever you want to with it. A few more tickets and tags. This tag is has a little bit of this. It's like a measuring tape, y'all, and I thought that it went really well, you know, with the fashion thing that we kind of have going on here. A beautiful sweet dress form from our friend Donna, and some ATCs and small tags, and a butterfly for y'all to play with. More of the sparkly braiding and sequins. Who doesn't like a good sequin or 2 or 3 or 10? Yeah, right. The fused paper towels. I made some birds this weekend. This dictionary page this vintage dictionary page had the word clef, and so I thought that that would make a fun page about music. I put some scrapbook paper in here, some music scrapbook paper. You know, maybe you want to write your own song, so there's a skinny book for you, and a little bit of journaling prompt. Best concert I've ever seen. I have to say the Monkees and Jimi Hendrix. My favorite band is probably Def Leppard. My favorite female musician, probably Pat Benatar. Favorite male musician, hard to say. I would have to say my favorite male musician is probably Jackson Browne, who is closely related to Greg Allman, who we lost last year. My favorite song, oh gosh, Heroes by David Bowie. Okay, there's mine. What's yours? Feel free to comment. A little bit of inspiration for you. A vintage Valentine's Day card to Dad. Some inspiration, some quotes, a little bit about the trying times of life, which I really did love. I thought that was very sweet and inspirational. I do like inspiration in these books. French dictionary, the Confessions of St. Augustine, which are in Latin with an English translation. Some gorgeous Chinese text. This is a Peter Newell illustration from Alice in Wonderland about the, gosh, what is this? The fish footmen, where they have curly hair and they get all tangled up with their curly hair. The Two Gentlemen of Verona. This paper is just exquisite. This is from a big book of Shakespeare. I think the illustrations are beautiful in that book. A little bit of sparkly bird and a bird cage for you. And the last pocket here is an iron-on patch. These are not vintage photographs, but they are scrapbook paper, and I thought that they were quite extraordinary. I thought they were very, very pretty. We've got some tickets in here, a little musical bird right there. This is also from the Audell's DIY book from 1960. This is a 1960 drawing of a kitchen. I love it because look at that telephone. Oh, it's so cool. Just really, really neat. Love things like that. And, you know, we're comparing. This is the 1988 Colonial Homes magazine for a GE cooktop. Beautiful table setting. I love a toast rack. My former boss, Betty Schroeder, bought me a toast rack one time because it reminds me of Inspector Poirot. And I have it put away in a box. I don't use it much anymore, but on lonely days, I tell you, I will get out my toast rack and I will toast myself some toast, and I will just have a bit of reverie, because that's civilized, y'all. That's civilized, a toast rack. Great American Recipes. I believe, y'all, you're not going to believe this. This is microwave cooking part 3. Y'all, there's a part 4. There's a part 4 of the microwave cooking. I'm sorry, it's just too funny. The Alice in Wonderland is the pig and pepper portion of Alice in Wonderland. Got some beautiful vellum in here for you. This was the 1942 Red Cross Nursing Manual. This went along with the kitchen elements that we have in this little insert here, the care of dishes and food utensils. Very specific procedure. Put away all food, fill cooking utensils with water, remove dishes from the table, clean grease and scraps from them with a scraper or paper, arrange dishes in convenient piles on the left side of your dishpan. Okay, so this is how to do dishes in 1942. No dishwashers. How to do dishes in 1942. Amazing, eh? This is a pocket with some letters and stickers for you to play with. A little Valentine kitty cat. A package of ATCs for you. This is Tim Holtz grunge paper. Grunge paper is a very different substrate, but I thought that you guys might enjoy having some to work with. I will tell you, y'all, that it has a peculiar smell. It has an odd smell to it, so just don't let that throw you off. It's fine. It's just grunge paper. That's just what it is and how it smells. Got some fabric sheets for you. A nice little smattering of gold tinged paper on the edge. I love it, gold edged paper. 1955 Hardy Boys right here. It was starting to get really stuffed right here, y'all. So I did not put a whole lot of paper in here. And this is a 1940 Harry Nilsson ephemera piece. I love the red stamp. I thought that was just absolutely beautiful. So, an ode to butterflies on this kind of dreary-ish February day, but hey, spring is around the corner, y'all. I can just feel it. Tomorrow it's going to be 75 degrees, so I'll probably get back out and in my yard and do some work with my peony. I was out there last week. I think it was Wednesday that it was really pretty, so I got to be out in my yard. And I just can't tell you how much I love to be out in my yard and digging in the dirt. It kind of sets off the child in me. Have a great Friday, y'all, and I will see you very soon. Talk to you later. Bye.